How do you feel about that leaderboard thing, Hiko?
Nobody really knows how it works.
I feel like once you get your win rate up, like you just kind of chill on the account, like you don't even have to play.
I guess. There are people that
Uh,
do scum like that. Some people don't want to play in their mains. Like they get like a big win streak and they just sit on it. Like, hey, I'll just wait to see what rank I am. Like I had like a big 8-game win streak and then I had like a big 8-game loss streak. And like last week, probably when they snapshotted it, I literally lost like 10 games in a row. But then you get to that elo where like you're playing against other people that are low radiant and like high immortal and you just farm. It's just so easy.
it's facts.
The spoon juice, thank you, Vicious Prime. Lupus, thank you, Vicious Prime.
I
Said
feel
that
like there
already.
needs to be like some like elo decay maybe or something for people who don't play on their mains and shit.
That's how it works in Overwatch, right? With their top 500, if you don't play
I
every
think so.
2 weeks or something, or every week, your number literally goes down.
I think so, but I'm not sure. I never really played Overwatch or anything.
Tens can't. No, I don't. I'm not talking about tens. Ten is definitely one of the people who would play as me if he could. I think people that are main duelists have a much easier time playing ranked. Like tens, Asuna, Wardell, Sabrosa doesn't usually play duelist, but all the people that literally main duelist and insta-lock, they're the people that just farm. Like it's way easier to insta-lock a duelist in ranked and just go for high kill games than try to play like Sova, Omen, Cypher, Killjoy. All duelists have a much easier time of carrying their team than the supports. It's just the way the game works. Especially if you're playing the agents that are supportive in a role that they're meant for a role, like, you know, being a support, trying to help your teammates get kills, then yeah. Who's Toxic Day? He's an old school friend. Thanks for ruining solo queue just now. My point is like there's already so many insta-lock duelists that it just feels like almost every game there's 2 or 3 duelists every single team that just insta-locks. Like their team had Jet, Raze, Reyna. Our team had Reyna, Phoenix, Jet. So both teams had triple duelist. So it's just it's the way the game works. People want to play Reyna, people want to play Phoenix, people want to play Jet. Nobody wants to sit there and just insta-lock Cypher every game. I mean, Cypher's really hard and boring to play a lot of the times in high rank. A lot of times you just have you know, you're not doing much. It's just the way the game works right now. That's the way the game will always work. It's the same thing of like Counter-Strike, same thing in League of Legends. Why would you want to be a support main if you're like that, you know, I kind of feel like the duelist insta-lockers, the people that get 20, 30 kills a game, they're like those, you know, the jacked tan Gym Tan Laundry, you know, DJ Pauly D in the house. Like, he's a duelist. Who wants to be a support when you can be the duelist, right? You get all the ladies as the duelist. As the supports, you're just like, you're like McLovin. You're like, Chad. Yeah, the Chads. There you go. As the supports, you're like the, you know, you're like the nerds. You're just the ones that are just like, you're sitting there with like your protractor lining up the, you know, lining up the actual angle, trying to calculate the geometry of the double bounce and how to throw and, you know, where to throw your maul. It's like, okay, dude, stay humble as a support. Shut up, you sound sad and old. Shut up, Kim86750. What's wrong with you? The supports are the true MVPs though. Like they're the ones, the people who like only play Sentinels, the people who play Sovas, the Omens. I think the Omen one tricks, they must just not have that much fun. Cause I feel like Omen is not fun to play every game. Like I don't know how Flex Ninja does it. I don't know. Hiko and when support play duelists they own? Usually, yeah. Usually I feel like a lot of the people who are like really smart, I actually think it's the other way. I think there's games where you'll get a lot of kills, but like, I think it's just such a different playstyle and such a different game almost when I play a Reyna game compared to playing Sova. Like a lot of times with Sova, I'm just like baiting, going last. Like we're waiting for my arrows to come back up. We're waiting for my arrow, like, you know, we have to go, we try to execute on my arrow. And then like, if my duelists are just also baiting and they don't run in with my arrow, it's like, okay, well, we just wasted my arrow. Now we either have to run in with no arrow or we have to wait 35 seconds. I think the way that the theory of Valorant works, the nerds that want to understand Valorant better, I think if you think about it, a lot of executes revolve around omen smokes and Sova arrows, right? So the intervals in this game are every 35 seconds. Most of the time, executes come every 35 seconds. So, you know, if we say the round time is 135, then a team can go really fast and use all their abilities early. They execute at 135. If they don't execute at 135, most of the time they'll execute around a minute, because that's also when your Omen gets his next smoke, and that's also when your Sova Dart comes back online. And in high tier games, Sova arrows are, you know, pretty much used on cooldown. So then you have the 35 second, or the 135 execute, then you have the 1 minute execute, then you have another 35 seconds, so then you have the 25-second execute. So those are like usually around those timings are the timings when teams usually execute, especially if you're playing with like a competent team or against a competent team. That's a way that I don't think many people understand. I don't think many people realize that, because if you're playing against a Sova Omen and you're playing against any kind of coordinated team, their executes are going to revolve around their Omen waiting for his second smoke or their Sova waiting for his next arrow. So yeah, maybe something to think about when you're looking at the timer. I mean, it doesn't happen exactly on the dot. Like sometimes people break the script and they throw their arrow late, or they'll throw like a weird Omen smoke at like an off timing. But for the most part, if you're playing against like a really well like strided and coordinated team, those are usually the timings that you kind of look for, somewhere around there. Again, it's never going to be exactly on the perfect dots, but you know, around those times when you kind of look for the executes to come. Just like another layer of the onion that is Valorant strategy. It's like chess a little bit. That's a lot of times it's like Dota and League too. Like there are timings that you can predict when fights are going to happen, right? Flash is coming back up. They're waiting for a certain ult to fight. Maybe they're waiting for Dragon. Maybe they're waiting for Baron. Maybe in Dota they're waiting for Roche, or they're waiting for, you know, RP to come back up, or they're waiting for Void's ult, Chronosphere to come back up. You know, whatever it is. Usually, like things are a lot of the times projected and telegraphed, and you can usually tell pretty easily when the like the timings of when things are going to happen. So like against the worst team, or not the worst, but teams that aren't pro, usually for us, like when we scrim against them, it's usually really obvious to know when their execute's coming and where it's going to be, because the tell for most teams is Sova arrow. Like usually where our team Sova arrows, that's where the execute's coming. And the Sova arrow comes every 35 seconds, so it's like 135,
Match
1 minute,
found.
25. But you talk a lot. I was just trying to explain a theory that many people don't understand yet. Many people never really thought about. So if you don't care, then that's fine. We got a game.
Oh, hello.
We'll get back into video gaming. Spyro Star.